your landlord gets paid, your Netflix gets paid, your delivery guy at 1 a.m. with $3 to your name gets paid. Everyone else seems to get paid, except for you. So today we're going to fix that. Being responsible with my money and making small decisions every day has allowed me to travel to a bunch of places and create incredible memories. But we're not here about my trips or my memories. We're here to create yours. And if you're new here, my name is Jay, and this is Pikachu. And I've been a practicing physician assistant for about 6 years now, and I've accumulated about $300,000 in my portfolio. And this isn't to show off the number. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It's to show that simple things can work. In the last video, to do the homework of knowing your numbers first, because that is step one before you can even go to the next one. So please, if you haven't yet, go back to that video, because you need to understand these three principles. You need to understand where your money goes to needs, savings, and where your money goes to your wants. Once you understand those three numbers, then we can play. And once you've done that homework, you might have realized that you have a little bit of play money, actually. Out of all the subscriptions that you use, maybe you found a couple that aren't necessary. Maybe you found an app that you've been paying for that you don't really use anymore. Maybe you found a way to actually share some of these expenses in a family setting or in a family account, and that way you split the share. There's many ways to budget, many ways to try and make a smarter decision about the things that you actually need. And after that exercise, maybe you found out that in a week you could spare about $20. Maybe you found out you could do 30, maybe even 50. But to be honest, even if you found $10 per week, that is $10 that you didn't have before. So it's not a reason to be upset. That is a reason to rejoice, to actually find $10 that you didn't have before. Cha-ching, that money in your pocket that you did not have before. And that's where we're going to put your money to work, so it can make money for you. So once you found some money, let's put it to work. Because if we don't put it to work, you're going to spend it on one thing. If it's not one thing, it's going to be the other. So let's put it to work quickly before you get tempted. Please. You get paid every 2 weeks on the dot, like clockwork. That money comes in and automatically somehow it gets spent every time. We have now tightened the ship, we've cracked the whip, and now we found 10 to 20, maybe 50, maybe $100 a week that we can actually put away. So before temptation starts hitting, you're going to automate your paycheck to go directly into a saving account. You can do this in two different ways. One, you can automate it directly from your employer to be split between two different accounts. Your checking account, from which all of your utilities, your rent comes out of, your day-to-day bills, and then another account that is secretly working in the background to create more money for you. That is your high-yield savings account, that is your emergency money, that is any account that is accruing interest at a rate of about 3% or higher. So you can do this before it even hits your checking account, or you could hit it afterwards, where you create an automated transaction from whatever bank that you've created. It takes it directly out of your checking account on the day that you get paid. But do this. Automate it on the day of your paycheck from your employer or from your bank. But just please do that. Why? Before you spend it. So instead of paying Amazon, a food delivery, cute little clothes, or something that you don't really need, but you kind of want, and you see that you kind of have the money for it, no, you don't. It's gone. The money's gone, the money's being used, the soldier's being put to work. So my recommendation, let's do 12.5%. Why 12.5? Because it represents 1 hour of your work. That's it. 1 hour. You can think of it as your first hour, 9 a.m. Between 9 and 10, that money is yours. That money is paying for future you. That money is making money in the background for future you. That money is doing work behind the scenes to get you more money. That is your favorite employee, yourself. Your present, your future, and your retired self are going to thank you. So 1 hour of your job every day going straight to your pocket. And if that feels impossible right now, start with 5%. And if percents don't make sense, that's fine. Start with $10. Start with $20 a week. Whatever you were able to find as a surplus to your needs, Ideally, first pay yourself savings, and then from whatever is left over, then you can have your wants. It shouldn't be backwards. Pay yourself first and then pay your wants. Once you've figured out that you're actually leaving money on the table and that you're spending on things that you don't really need, then the tighter feeling that you get once you know that money is automatically going into savings and is working in the background for you, there's no feeling better than that, than knowing that, okay, I may feel a little tight this month, but I know that the money's working in the background. I know that something good is happening for me, and I know I'm gonna make ends meet a little bit better. And it may be for a couple of months where you feel that tightness, but then you'll loosen up and you'll actually get adjusted to that new level of pay to yourself. Your month to month, your new adjusted wants category is gonna be a little bit lower, but then you're gonna figure it out and you're gonna be like, wait, I could have lived like this for a lot longer. And you're gonna kick yourself in the back for not starting earlier. Trust me. So if you take me up on this, congratulations. Your salary is now 12.5% of every one of your paychecks. You are officially on company payroll. So now what? Where do you keep that money so that Amazon doesn't get his hands on it? No offense to Amazon. If you're just starting out, I'm gonna keep it simple for you and only give you two options right now. You can do open an emergency savings account and or pay down high interest credit card debt. If I was in your situation, I would usually split it between the two, 50-50. Pay down my debt, my high interest rate debt, simultaneously building myself a cushion. That emergency savings account can exist within many different kinds of accounts. You can choose, in my opinion, anything that gives you an interest over 3% and is ideally FDIC insured. There's exceptions to this and alternatives and yada yada, but pick ideally something that you trust, a bank that you trust that is FDIC insured, that is well known, nothing new, nothing hypey, nothing fintechy. Put your money in there, get it to start working for you at above 3%, and if you have high interest credit card debt, pay that down. And if your credit card is giving you anxiety, really start paying down your high interest credit card debt, especially at a minimum. Every time you get your bank statement, look at the bare minimum, pay that off if not higher. Aim to pay that down as quickly as you possibly can because that's just gonna hurt your interest at the end of the day. So if you have high interest credit card debt and decide to pay that down first, great, do that. And then once you've done that, you can then go into the emergency savings camp. If you want to do both simultaneously, that's great. But if you are now in the emergency savings camp, the ideal goal that a lot of people talk about is 3 to 6 months worth of savings in your emergency savings account. So this emergency savings account is going to grow at least 3%. It's going to be working behind the scenes for you, doing magic, doing wonders, doing things that your money has never done before. And when people say save up to 3 to 6 months in that account, you really only need to save about 3 months. If your company is stable, you've been working there for a while, you don't plan on moving, 6 months is more for the person that is maybe self-employed, maybe has a little bit less stable job. You want to create that stability for you because stability creates confidence. Confidence creates the ability to invest your money into higher risk things that ultimately are going to give you a better return, but you cannot go to that step until you're able to keep your money in your savings account earning. Because if you keep taking things out, you don't create that responsibility. You could risk now taking money out of stocks, money out of your investments, and that's going to hurt you in the end. So first, master step 1, which is discipline. This discipline is going to make your money grow. This discipline is going to allow you to keep your money in your bank. This discipline is going to keep money going and flowing into the bank in one direction. Your old habits were digging into your saving account. We're not knowing how much you spend month to month. We're not really knowing what your needs, wants, and savings rates should be. But we know what those are now. So let's first put the training wheels on. Let's make sure that we are not tempted to take the money out that we've been putting into our accounts. Because if we can't do that, I can't unlock the next account. Or you shouldn't unlock the next account. Because you're putting yourself at risk for interest and penalties and taxes if you take money out of certain accounts. So these accounts are safe. Pay down your debt. Nothing bad is going to happen from you paying down your debt. Put money into your emergency savings account. Nothing bad is going to happen from you putting money into your emergency savings account. But something will happen if you take money out of things like your 401k, potentially IRAs, potentially you selling stocks. There's a lot of tax penalties that come with those. So first, let's build the discipline. Let's build a pattern. Let's build a system and a confidence in yourself to not take money out, to leave it in there and to allow it to grow and work for you in the background. And for those of you watching this video who maybe are a little bit more advanced and maybe you know about your emergency savings account, you already have your money working for you in the background at 3%. Maybe you have it already in a high yield savings account, or maybe you've done SGOV on Infidelity, and maybe you've already paid down your debts. You're like, what's next? What's the next step that people are talking about? What's the next system that I should consider? And to be honest, again, there's a lot of schools of thought. So in my opinion, I think there's only two options for those of you that are ready for the next step. And I think my number one option that is gonna apply to a lot more people is putting your money into a Roth. So a Roth, especially at a lower income tax bracket, is going to make moves. It's going to grow tax free, and you take it out tax free. And there's a little bit of a benefit that any contribution that you put into it, theoretically, even though it's a retirement account, any contributions into it, you can take out without any tax penalties. Don't recommend it. Treat this as if you would actually get tax penalties when you take out anything from a Roth. You're putting money away when you are at a lower tax bracket, so that money is going to grow at a much faster rate, tax-free. And when you retire, you're gonna take it out tax-free. So it's an incredible, incredible, incredible bucket. There's also another account known as a 401k or 403b that is usually offered by an employer. I would recommend that if your employer offers a match. There's stipulations with matches that can affect your decision, but for the most part, if there's a match, I would take it. So if you're still building trust in yourself and you kind of want to take the next step, maybe into buying assets, then a Roth is the bank account for you. If you want free money that your job is currently offering, a 4%, 5%, whatever match, then maybe take that. But know that a 401k, there's going to be a lot more stipulations if you take money out, versus a Roth, you could potentially take out your contributions. But build trust in yourself first. So Roth account, if you are still building trust with yourself to not disturb the money that is working behind the scenes. And a 401k if free money interests you, and especially if you are okay with locking away your money until retirement. 401k is a
whoa, no touchy, no touch.
But a Roth, you theoretically could touch your contributions. But more on that later, more on that in the next video. There's many ways to skin a cat. What makes you comfortable? What does your employer offer you? But first, savings account. If you have high interest credit card debt or any kind of debt, pay that down. Then go to your savings account, or do those simultaneously. Make sure that in your savings account, you're earning at least a 3% return on investment. Any money that you're putting in there is getting at least 3%. No regular interest bank here, no brick and mortar 0.1% interest rate, 3% or higher, FDIC insured, well-known bank. And if you have accumulated 3 to 6 months in your emergency savings, because let's do one thing at a time. Let's start things easy. But if you want to go to step 2 and have several things open, then potentially consider a Roth. You've paid the taxes when you were at a lower tax bracket. Your money is growing tax-free and gets taken out tax-free upon your retirement. So remember this, money without a job gets spent. Money with a mission gets invested. The goal is assigning money purpose and direction. What do you want it to do? How fast do you want it to do it? And do I see myself taking money out of it? These are questions that you have to ask. So put your money to work before it loses all hope, ends up in your pocket, and accidentally gets spent on impulse purchases. And that's what it's really all about. It's about giving your future you a chance, an opportunity, and a paycheck. You've been paying everyone else first. Today we're gonna change that. Today you become an employee of your own life. Check out the description in the pinned comments below for helpful resources on this topic. And before you go, remember this: building wealth isn't one giant decision. It's tiny little decisions that you make every single day. And today can be one of those decisions. And future you is already thankful that you made it.